So first of all, December is not only my 1 year luck anniversary month, it's also my 13 years wedding anniversary. Thank you. Thank you very much. And as a tribute to my anniversary, I want to share with you a few valuable things I learned before I got married and right after I got married that I think might be beneficial to someone. Coming from someone who never wanted to get married, I made that very clear to my mother. Don't expect me to be married because I don't see any examples around me. My relatives, families, aunties, uncle, there was just nothing out there. The only example of marriage that I found fascinating was the fake one, which is Hollywood. Movies are make-believe, so if make-believe looks better than reality, then why do I want to do that to myself? So I decided I wasn't going to get married. But I met a certain someone who swept me off my feet, and 13 years later, I'm here. Was it all rosy and fun? In my society growing up, men were given more significance and acknowledgement in marriages over women. Women were more seen from that domestic perspective, keep the house clean, cook the food, raise the kids. But I made a secret promise to myself that if this is not working, I'm not going to stick my neck in this marriage and force myself to make it work. I'm going to get out. That's another thing I saw a lot in my society growing up. A lot of women suffering silently in marriages, especially women. I don't mean to be like a sexist here. I'm talking from my personal experience. And someone once told me the first 5 years of a marriage is the toughest, and usually it's within those 5 years that couples tend to divorce, or if you make it through that 5 years, then you stand a better chance of staying with each other for the rest of your lives. And that's exactly what happened to me. It was rough, it was tough, it was good, bad, and ugly. It got so ugly I didn't even want to be in there anymore. But here I am today, 13 years later. What have I learned? Number one, find one person that you both trust to talk to about your problems. One person that you mutually trust to give unbiased judgment, to give unbiased advice, and who has both your best interests at heart. Don't get someone who is biased in favor of your wife or who is biased in favor of your husband. That's not the kind of person you're looking for. You're looking for someone who will give you truthful guidance and opinion. It might just save your marriage. Number two, it is never going to be easy. I learned that. It's not going to be easy. Be patient with your marriage because the first 5 years you're going to see things about yourselves that you never knew you had.
Officer down. I need an ambulance on Route 180. Officer down. I repeat, officer.
What was that?
Daddy. You know what you remind me of? People will come up with Black Jesus. What Black Jesus should look like. Hello, Your Highness. I'm about to make you eggs, so you better cooperate with me. How are you?
I'm black, man.
How many fingers do you see?
Man.
How many fingers do you see?
Four.
Four. And 3, thing that I wish I knew or that I learned in the marriage is, if you're a pretty girl, marriage is going to shake that up a little bit. I got pregnant and I turned into an ogre.
Huh?
Oh no!
I changed from this to that. Like, you know, Princess Fiona in Shrek? That's exactly what happened to me. But if you're married to the right guy, it doesn't matter what you morph into, he's still going to love you. And I think that was when I knew for a fact that my husband really does love me. Although he did call me handsome a day after I gave birth to our child. A day after I gave birth, of course, I spent the night at the hospital as a new mom for the first time. He came in from home, he went home of course, and he came back, and when he entered, he looked really good. I said, "Oh, you look handsome." And he said, "So do you." I know that's not what he meant, but sometimes when you say something subconsciously, it's because I didn't look pretty. I looked like a handsome man. That hurts. Marriage is going to challenge even your beauty, especially when you're having kids for the first time. The first time is rough. It was rough on me physically. I gained a lot of weight. I was very dark, and I'm not talking about dark, ebony beautiful. I'm talking about charcoal, dusty, weird stuff going on. Yeah, I'll let the picture say it all. It challenges men as well. I mean, my man went from 6 packs to 1 pack, and I still love him. Anyways, moving on. I don't want to keep on counting, but those were the things that stood out to me. Every aspect of your life is going to be challenged. Your trust is going to be challenged. Your values are going to be challenged, and you have to stand up for yourself. There is one thing, however, I'm very grateful for that I did before I got married, and that is I let the man that I was about to marry, I let him know what I stood for and who I am. Quick disclaimer, I love my family, I cook for them, but I hate to cook. So I let my husband, or my boyfriend at the time, I let him know, look, I know you like me and I know I like you too. But here is the deal. I don't like to cook. So if you have ideas or plans to marry this in the future, she don't like to cook. So if cooking is a big deal for you, then yeah, I'm a deal breaker. So you might want to find some other chicks. Of course, I let him know and he was okay with it. Of course, at first he was like, well, what do you mean? I mean, you're an African woman. I was like, what the heck is that supposed to mean? Just because I'm an African woman doesn't mean I have to cook. He was cool with it, and 13 years later, I think that is one of the biggest highlights of my marriage, that I want to say I am proud I married the man that I did, because he never forced me to be who I wasn't. I don't recollect once in the 13 years of being married to him where he pressured me into having to cook. In fact, if there's anyone pressuring me to cook right now, it's my kids. Can't wait for them to grow up. Anyways. If there is one thing that I can advise anyone watching this video, whether you're married, whether you're about to be married, or whether you are newlywed, be yourself. It will pay you in the long run. I know we like to put our best foot forward, try to show people our prettier side. It's a short-term advantage. You will get what you want. But it's easier to be yourself than continuing to play a role all the time. You're always going to be working 24/7, as opposed to being who you truly are and let the person fall in love with you as you really are. I think the biggest thing for me in making my marriage successful, besides God sending someone who was very instrumental in keeping us together, especially during those first 5 years, those rough periods, is starting off on the right foot. Not the prettiest foot, the right foot. Let people see you for who you really are. Let them see it, and let them decide if this is what they want. And that goes for guys as well. Don't hide stuff from your woman. Let her fall in love with you the way you are. But regardless of how much people present themselves for who they really are, you still won't see every aspect of who they are until you get married to them, and only God can save you then. God and your values and your determination to push through the difficult phase. On another note, some relationships are not worth it. You need to get out of abusive relationships. I'm just saying. And get out of it fast before it's too late. So that went well. Okay. Anywho, I will see you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button, only if you liked it, of course. But otherwise, I will see you next time. Adios.